Hello and welcome back to All Things Medical Assistant. I am your host, Santino Tez, for this podcast. And first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for returning and continuing to listen to what it is that I have to say. And for anybody new out there listening, I hope you find this informative and entertaining. And if you know of anybody else that might find this podcast entertaining or informative, please go ahead and forward along. I do have a webpage dedicated to my podcast. It is at allthingsmedicalassistant.com. There you can find all my podcasts uploaded as they're produced. As well, you can find these videos that are recorded on YouTube at That Med Guy, or you can go to allthingsmedicalassistant.com and find them there as well. It'll be the more recent 5 episodes that I recorded, and you can watch them there. And if you do find this on YouTube and you like what I've had to say and you've enjoyed the content, please go ahead and excuse me, and give a thumbs up and hit that bell to be notified when the next episode uploads. And I hope to hear from you. There will be space for you to leave a comment, concern at allthingsmedicalassistant.com, and also on YouTube. And if you're listening to me on anchor.fm, send me a voice message. Okay, so again, thank you for listening. So today is more of an impromptu recording. Usually I wait until Friday or Saturday, usually the weekend, to record, and I'll take the week's experience to try and pick up a topic to talk about, relating to medical assisting. And so I've taken this week off. This is the third day that I've taken off into the work week, and my daughter's daycare has been closed for the week, a vacation or something like that, and so I've stayed home to take care of her. And usually, I'm a busy guy, and I go. It's hard for me to relax, hard for me to slow down. Well, after a couple of days not doing anything, I can pretty much, subdue that internal dialogue and start thinking about other things and start relaxing and find things to do. So, at the beginning of the week, I was trying to, finally settling down within myself, and I was finally, finding needing that I needed something to do. Like I said, I can't sit still. So, very interesting week since Monday, and I just needed to get on here and share it because it's helping me view this whole pandemic thing in a whole new view, in a whole new light. And it's mostly regarding children and what our children are going through now and what they're possibly going to go through in the future. And it's pretty disturbing, and it's pretty sad, and it's pretty, it's just horrible when you think about it. So the way this all started was Monday was a regular day. Got up, baby got up, breakfast, the whole thing. Started doing stuff around the house, and it was a good day. Tuesday, she had a dental appointment, a checkup. She'd had oral surgery the year before, so get there and check up, and it was just an interesting beginning to the start of the day. It was an 8 o'clock in the morning appointment. So when I sat down and thought about it this morning, what had happened yesterday, and to see the significant changes going on around me, it just opened up another reality. So this is how the day started, and here's how my mind's been going since then. So when we got to her dentist's office, park the car, get out of the car, walk into the building, and as soon as we get to the front door, there's a sign posted that says, if you're here for a dental appointment, please call this number before entering, and we will let you know when to come in. If you see another family in the front foyer, please wait your turn and give us a call. I was thinking, okay, well, that sounds normal. That's fine. Everywhere's controlling space, social distancing. So I call the number. The receptionist says, oh yeah, come on in. So I walk in, turns out to be one of the dental assistants. And, Lily Olive's here for her appointment. And okay, just went ahead and updated some stuff and then sat down. Now, this is where it gets bizarre for me. So her dentist is she's a great dentist. I would recommend her to everybody that I know. She's a great dentist for children, and I believe she only works with children. So that's her whole experience, which as creates makes her even the better doctor of dental surgery. But so this place is tailored to kids. It's tailored to children all the way around. You walk in, the foyer shaped in a cool, fun shape. There's a puzzle kind of a thing on the floor with wires and beads that you move. And then they have this little alcove with about 4 iPads, I believe it is, that are mounted securely to the little bar that's there, and then they're on and the kids can play. There's different games, and so and there's also a rocking horse. That's really cool. It's really cool to see. So usually when I walked in there's kids running around. Usually 3 of the 4 of the iPads are working, and the kids trying to figure out how the 4th one's working. And then there's parents sitting there. We're sitting on the couch. We're waiting for our kid to be called, or waiting for our kid to be taken back or returned to us. And you meet another parent, you talk to the parent, it sounds pretty normal. Well, when I sat down, it was weird. It was like a ghost town. The iPads were turned around, the tables and chairs were removed, the little puzzle gym was removed, that rocking horse was removed, and it was just the sofa. There was an espresso or a coffee maker in there, that was gone. So it's just this sofa against the wall and an open space, and then all of the plexiboard front coverings to the receptionist. And at the time I didn't think about it, but this morning when I woke up, I was thinking, wow, that was just weird. Because when you go to the dentist's office, especially the kids' dentist's office, you're kind of prepared, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna see all these kids, screaming kids, crying kids, upset parents, blah, blah, blah. But, that wasn't the case this time. This time it was completely empty, and part of a child's growing up and upbringing and experience is that interaction with children, and that's something that we had learned. It was important to get our daughter into childcare, make sure that she attends school, because they need that interaction. It's very hard for kids to stay home because they get bored. You think we get bored? They get bored and they get destructive. And then there's all kinds of parents out there that are fighting for these kids to go back to school for different reasons. And I think a lot of them are because they just don't know how to take care of their kids at home and they're tired of them. But it was hard to try and find things for her to do and to keep her entertained. She's very smart. She's very high functioning. She's very creative. She likes to sing. She likes to dance. And how do you take care of that within 4 walls, especially when your government on multiple levels is telling you to stay indoors? More so than not. It's just, yeah, right. So, going back to the dentist's office, and I was sitting there, I was like, wow, there's no kids here for her to interact with. Because in that short time span, obviously children don't know the meaning of time. They don't know the concept of time. So 5 minutes meeting somebody new and interacting with them and playing with them could seem, I don't know, like 4 hours. Who knows? But it's a little piece of life for them. It's a little piece of maturity. It's a little piece of growth. It's a little piece of becoming a sociable and adaptive, individual eventually that's going to grow up to be a productive member of society, hopefully. But none of that was there. Even the games, the games were pretty much educational. So, they're learning something, or even just playing with whatever activities there were, it's made for kids. And it's part of their growth. I remember when I went to the dentist as a child, there were people everywhere, and, well, that's a different story. I'm a 45-year-old man still deathly afraid of the dentist. But I thought, man, horrible, And it's not. I mean, we're in the U.S. of A. It's a free country. We're free to move around, but things still feel restricted because of this. It kind of feels like a little bit of a freedom's been, because we cannot freely move around, move in, move out, open doors, leave buildings. And so it was just bizarre to see that life as usual was not going on. Now she goes in, has her exam, cleaning, all that done. They call me back, lets me know how well she's done. And then instead of going out through the front door that we came in, they're leading us out the back. Again, wow. I mean, I applaud them for taking safety precaution, but it's like, wow, now we're even being directed, where to go and how to move, and everything's changed. Everything's just changed completely. And I just, and I don't know how to react to it. I feel like her childhood has been taken away from her in these little senses. I feel like her ability to grow in these incremental experiences has been taken away from her. And as a parent, that makes me kind of feel like a failure, because I'm supposed to, as a parent, her mother as a parent, my mother as a grandmother, are supposed to expose her to things like this, as incremental growths in their life. They need to be able to go out and see kids everywhere and be able to walk up and down the hallway at the aisle at Safeway, and say, hey, I'm a 5-year-old too, and wink and snap a finger, whatever. And so that was just the start of it. And that was just, bizarre. So then we get out, so we go to McDonald's to get her a hash brown. And we get there, and driving past, and again, I've driven up to McDonald's since this whole thing started, a few times, and I've accepted for what's going on. I've accepted the fact that the dining room was closed, whatever. But driving back from that experience and thinking, driving up to the drive-through, wow. I remember as a kid when I was growing up, going to McDonald's, I was all excited because it's McDonald's Happy Meal, the toy. Even though the Happy Meals suck these days, they should just take the Happy Meals off of the menu, because they totally suck from what they were when I was a kid. The McDonald's has let the value of cost get in the way of getting the child that wonderful experience that I had. But anyways, that's for another episode. But and then those McDonald's that I visited that had a play area in it, man, let's go. Let's jump in the balls. Let's go in the tube. Let's get stuck. Let's get lost. Let's freak out mom and hide in the corner. Not even that's open. That's closed. I'm thinking, wow, that experience of being excited to go to McDonald's. Now, what am I going to get excited about? Going through a drive-through? Oh, yeah. Let's go see the different colored cars. Let's make out the different license plates. Yeah, 5 years old, who cares? And I'm afraid that as they grow, that's going to be their experience, enjoying the drive-through. It's sad. I'm thinking, wow, I mean, as an adult, we can adapt. We're meant to adapt. We're supposed to adapt, we have that higher sense of understanding and the forehead, the cerebellum or the forebrain to make those, non-judgmental, non-impulsive decisions, But kids, they're loose rockets, man, especially at 5. And then now with schools, I mentioned in another podcast about how it's just a disgrace that kids are not going to go back to school physically, and that is such a huge experience for them, such a huge experience. That's where kids grow. They learn identity. They become who they are. They establish lifelong friends. And unfortunately, there are families that are of low income, of no income, that's how their kids get breakfast. That's how their kids get lunch. That's how their kids get any type of social involvement, aside from siblings, if they have any. For some of these underprivileged families, it's the only structure they have in their life at all. And that's sad that has been taken away. So, I'm thinking, well, now we're going to have to learn, we have to teach online. I'm not a teacher. We're going to have to teach at home online. I'm not a teacher. am I qualified? I'm a medical assistant, I'm emergency medicine, 28 years, I'm a surgical technologist, I'm not, but, her mother's a wonderful teacher. Her mother can teach her hands down, me, it's something for me to learn, and I will. But this whole new theme. It's like this. So remember when you're growing up and you watch the news and you're a kid, you really don't understand what's going on, but you see the news about other countries, people wearing masks, and people being directed and living in very socialist countries and stuff like that. You wonder, wow, that sucks. That's how it's feeling now, because we're being directed where to go, how to go, follow the arrow, wear your mask, or you can't come in. Stand 6 feet apart. And obviously it's become a very heated racial issue as well. I'm not going to get into it here. But it's like now our lives are being directed in every direction which they're telling us to go. Like I said, I know we're free, we can come and go, get in our car, go to work, whatever. But those little simple pleasures, being able to do what we want to do, have been stripped. And, I'm on the fence whether we're going to get it back or not. Because I feel like, I understand it, and I totally believe within reason that life will never be the same, But, I try and think of a deeper rooted reason. I try and think of, and I'm not very philosophical. I can be. I'm not very philosophical, but I'm trying to understand, this sense of what's going on and why society is the way it is, and why, my child's going to have to suffer. Not suffer emotionally, mentally, or physically, but have that experience taken away from them. Yeah, I've got to think about that, because I have to plan a contingency to provide otherwise for her, Thank God, my other kids they're great. I've got 2 girls in college and 1 boy in the Navy. I can't be any more proud than that. It's the most awesome thing. But now this little one here, this 5-year-old, didn't ask for any of this to happen. And then you have this administration that has given up on the people and has pretty much said, hey, you know what? You figure it out. You do it on your own. We've done all that we can. We've done the most. We're the best. We're the number one. No, my friend, we're the laughing stock. We're the laughing stock of, the globe. And I'm hoping that we'll get back to that with this upcoming election. But anyways, so this morning when I was thinking about all this, when I thought about, jumping on here and uploading this impromptu episode, is, there's one issue that I am convinced that is sustaining all of this. Not just causing it, but sustaining it. Okay? And this is what I think it is. People aren't doing what they're supposed to do. People are not wearing their masks. They're not social distancing. They're not adhering to guidelines. Nothing. They're not adhering to any of that. We still have that population of people that feel like their breathing's trying to be controlled, or they're being told what to do, rather than understanding that it's a matter of public health and public safety. And people walking around there, causing issues for employees and other people wearing masks. It happens a lot that we're walking around and we see people not wearing masks, and they look at us like we're the weird ones, or like we're the ones, breaking the rules or whatever, But because of these dumbasses going around not doing what they're supposed to, all of these restrictions, empty exam, or rather empty foyers, no in-school classes, restricted movement, mandated masking and stuff like that, is because of people that aren't doing what they're doing. So I'm not saying that these people that aren't doing what they're doing are robbing my child's, childhood, but they're making it harder for her to be able to live it. They're making it harder for her to be able to experience it. They're making it harder for her to be able to learn that sense of adaptivity, to learn that sense of immersion, you know. We went to the park over the weekend and there was only one family there. Oh, like, it just wasn't the same. I mean, it would have, there might as well not have been anybody there. Our children need to be able to get out there. Forget us, forget the parents. We're adults, we can deal with whatever. But our kids need to get out there and they need to be able to have those experiences that we had. And we can get there. I totally believe we can get there. I totally believe they can still have those experiences. But it's gonna mean that we all need to get on the same boat about doing what we need to do. We need to social distance, we need to mask, we need to gel in, gel out, however you want to say it. Keep your hands clean, don't touch your face, social distance, the whole thing. And once you see that happening, you're going to start seeing a more of a controlled movement, and things will start to open up. I mean, the phases started happening, and people not doing what they want to do are causing the regression of phases, a lot of violence, just because you don't want to be told what to do. Again, no one's telling you what to do. Ugh, I almost said a bad word. So I just wanted to share with you, what I was thinking, how I woke up this morning. I mean, when I woke up, I was like, oh, geez, why is this the first thing on my mind? I mean, what am I going to do today for my daughter? How am I going to keep her busy, entertained? Do I take her for more hash browns or what? I'm going to do whatever she wants to do because, she rules the roost and she's my princess and she's my bolita chiquita de amor. She's my world. She's everything. There's nothing that I won't do. There's nothing that her mother won't do. There's nothing that her grandmother won't do. There's nothing that the grandmother on her mother's side won't do. There's nothing that the people that love her won't do for her. And everybody will try and make it the best life they can, But again, as long as we're restricted because of people out there not doing what they need to do, it's affecting your kids too. And you're teaching and you're showing your kids non-compliance, how not to care for other people. I can just imagine you being a parent of the attitude of, you don't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do, and your kid is a sweet child who doesn't know any better, who knows no malice, sees the world acting one way and you acting another. You are influencing your child, because your child's going to go with what you do, with how you think. You're their belief system, and they're going to start thinking, well, you know what, I don't have to do what I need to do either. Don't get sick. If you get sick, that's your fault. If you got sick, it's because you touched a Democrat. Oh, if you got sick, it's because you looked at the opposite sex of another color. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So again, I really think we can get back to where we need to, at least for our kids. I mean, I'm 45. I've got maybe another, hopefully 50 years ahead of me. But I, as a father, need to make sure that she's protected. And that's not just from harm and, from vulgarities and stuff, but it's also to protect her from, the lawlessness and the people that affect the rest of us. How to do that, who knows? But we'll be figuring it out, So, that's what I wanted to say. And, and if you're listening out there, and again, if you're one of those that are on the fence about doing this masking or social distancing thing, please, don't think of it as you're being told what to do. Just think of you being a solution for public health. You're being part of the solution on a bigger scale, and then, think about your kids that are being affected by this as well, And hopefully you might have some kind of, epiphany, or you might be visited by an angel, or, you might put the pipe down and understand. Who knows? But yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. So again, I'm Santino Tez for All Things Medical Assistant. If you're listening to me on Anchor.fm, send me a voice message for comment, concern. If you're listening to me on Apple Podcasts or any other podcast, please go to allthingsmedicalassistant.com. There you'll find the episode uploaded and an area to submit a comment, question, concern to me, and I will address that at the next podcast. And maybe we can learn something together. And also, one thing I wanted to ask the audience out there, again, in the beginning, it was my intent to get people involved in the conversation, I'm coming close to 700 hits, 700 listens to the podcast. And I don't know if that's a good growth or bad growth, but I think it's awesome. And I want to thank everybody who's allowed me to make it this far. But I really want to start to try and get people involved. I want to start to get the listeners and the audience involved. So if you would like to become a guest on my podcast, go ahead and send me a message. Anchor.fm, send me a voice message, or go to allthingsmedicalassistant.com. You can find any episode there and send me an email that you'd like to appear as a guest, and we can find a multitude of ways to do it. There's a way that we can do this remotely if you're somewhere else in the country. However, this can be done. So if you'd like to be a guest, please get a hold of me wherever you can, and we'll make it happen, okay? All right. Well, again, thank you for listening, and go to allthingsmedicalassistant.com. And if you see this on YouTube and you've enjoyed what I've had to say, please go ahead and thumbs up, like the video, share it, hit that notification button. And again, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you later on this week. Bye-bye.